In the most recent Bleach chapter, we got a lot of things that were unexpected. A lot of things that I absolutely adored, but also a lot of interesting things that caused me to think a lot about the story of Bleach. One of which was the fact that Kubo decided to introduce 2 brand new lieutenants, and at the same time he instantly revealed some of their abilities. This not only answers our questions as to who got the new lieutenant positions after the war, but both of them are really interesting. I mean, between the two, I want one to crush me, and the other one just looks so bloody cool. Like, Kubo really made a character from scratch, with no lines of dialogue, and he still looks cooler and acts cooler than 99% of anime characters. And of course, because I'm not a simp, I'm gonna be talking about the legend Atau and not Yu today. I genuinely really liked Atau as a character, if that's how you pronounce it. I don't even realize why I liked him so much. He just genuinely had like this really cool aesthetic around him, and his powers were really unique and interesting. Speaking of his powers, today we're gonna be discussing and theorizing Atau's powers. Dang, that was such a good transition. But before we get into that, if you guys are new to the channel, then don't forget to hit that subscribe button, drop a like, turn on the bell, and I need your guys' help even more than that, because I have a feeling this video is gonna flop because Atau's a new character, so any sharing or love you can put into this video would mean 10 times more and would be so greatly appreciated. But without all further ado, let's get into the video. So one of the things that I feel like make Atau's powers just feel so interesting and unique is mostly due to the fact that the way that he releases his Zanpakuto is a completely different process. You see, Atau is most likely mute in the story and is unable to speak a word. So Kubo managed to give him the ability to write the command of his Zanpakuto, which is give birth, on his Zanpakuto with his finger. As he finishes writing this on his Zanpakuto, he then proceeds and does sign language for the word hawk, and then after this entire process, his sword turns into these strange paper-like bird things that are connected to the handle of his sword. At this point, his sword has been released into Shikai, and as he waves his sword back and forth, he seems to be able to create birds that instantly consume his opponent. Sadly though, the knowledge that we have on Atau's Shikai is extremely limited, like close to nothing, as we only see him release it once against a relatively weak opponent that was instantly killed. We have no way of knowing if the birds stay alive, we have no way of knowing if his Zanpakuto constantly creates more birds, and we have no way of knowing if he has some type of name manipulation that allows him to make more things than just small birds. But now that we've gone in deep, pause, and covered exactly what the series has shown us, it's time to get into the few theories that I'd like to share with you guys, the viewers. The first one has to do with what he can create with his Zanpakuto. Perhaps he does have some type of name manipulation ability that I mentioned earlier. After all, his release command is give birth, and then he proceeds and does the sign language for hawk. In my head, perhaps whatever sign language he does, his sword creates. This could be very unique, but there would definitely be some limits as to what he can create. I have no idea what those limits could be, but I definitely know that they will exist. And to give this theory even more credit, this isn't the first time where altering the name of your Zanpakuto has changed its abilities. Yubichika has 2 names for his Zanpakuto, one where he has no Kido based abilities and one where he does. The final thing that I feel like really points towards this is Atau being so close to nature. Upon his introduction, the first panel that we see Atau in, he is surrounded by a bunch of animals, not just birds. Now he's definitely the closest with the bird as it's on his shoulders, but he has a ton of animals at his feet and just everywhere, and I feel like that's kind of Kubo trying to tell us that he can create all of these different kinds of animals. So no matter what, I definitely feel like at the very least he'll be able to create multiple types of birds, or maybe a few other animals. However, we have so little evidence on his Shikai. But this brings me to my next theory. I think when he creates these birds that they're definitely permanent until he seals his sword once again. Now I have close to no evidence for this besides the fact that we see the birds still behind the ghoul after he kills the ghoul. But with all these theories, I genuinely do believe that we need to see Atau's powers at least one more time to have any evidence to support anything. I do feel like there's more than meets the eye with his Zanpakuto though, but I guess for now that's all we can figure out. I mean, my theory is as limited as to what we've seen of Atau, and for that I have like a 4 to 5 panel theory then, I guess. We also can kinda say that he probably doesn't have a Bankai. Not only is he a lieutenant, but he also had to release his Zanpakuto using a name. As we find out by Byakuya, if you have learned Bankai, you can automatically release your Zanpakuto without needing to know its name, and Atau was against a fairly weak ghoul, so I see no purpose in him choosing to go the full name route to activate his Zanpakuto. But either way, at the same time, his Zanpakuto is such a unique case that makes it really weird as to how it follows the normal rules of Bleach. I'm still so overwhelmed that Kubo managed to make me interested in this new lieutenant in almost no panels. Like, I have found a massive liking to the limited view that we've had of his abilities and even his personality. And no matter how big or small this Shikai ends up being, I definitely did enjoy something that was unexpected and at least just a little different. It honestly did remind me of some of the Kido abilities like Geki and a few others, but the Shikai was even more interesting. I definitely hope that we'll get to see more of Atau's Shikai because I have so many questions and I really hope Kubo answers some of them because this Shikai is just so sick looking and so interesting. But anyway, thank you guys so much for taking some time out of your day and watching today's video. I know like 5 panels made me make an entire video about a character, but seriously, I want to know your thoughts on Atau. Was I the only one that found a massive liking to his personality, his abilities, and every way that Kubo has portrayed him so far? Like, Atau is just really cool in my eyes. I don't know why, I just really genuinely like him. But if you guys are new to the channel, make sure you guys subscribe, drop a like, and again, comment your thoughts on Atau. I really want to know. I probably mispronounced his name like 100 times in this video, but who's counting? Anyway, my name is Pokesol. Thank you guys so much for watching once again, and in the words of Gunichimaru,